Greetings, this is Skyler Saunders seeing what's current. Young nigger world Melly just got a break. He got a reprieve from the judge, currently stating that a Snapchat memory, including what looks like to be a weapon, a gun specifically, cannot be held up in court, cannot be used in court. And I'm saying hallelujah. I'm not for or against this young man. I'm just saying for his, track record, he's already a felon. He has committed serious crimes, but in this particular case, he may have a break for the scolded the prosecution who tried to introduce the Snapchat memories into the case, into the courtroom. So he has an opportunity now to say that he can at least show that what he did on camera is not what he did in real life. What he did on, a basis of a video, a fictionalized version of himself instead of recording actual life is what is presented in the Snapchat memories. More power to him, because I am a big proponent of not using lyrics, videos, movies, artwork, sculptures, whatever you want to use in the court of law against someone for whatever they did or didn't do, I should say. It's something that is very important to recognize and to realize, because anything goes then. Al Pacino should be in court for Scarface, and so many others. Arnold Schwarzenegger for Terminator. How many people did, how many Mr. Smiths did Neo kill, in The Matrix? Keanu Reeves. That's what it all boils down to. It comes to a point where you're not even coming into the sense of what you are. The fact is that the video does not represent you. That's the truth. I got my notes here. So the prosecutor was shot down. His idea calls it, and the judge called it prejudicial, or that it would cause inherent bias against the defendant without actually being evidence that contributes to the matters of fact in this case. Put that in writing. Put that down. Put all those words. All that means is you ain't using that video. You ain't using that Snapchat. Nope. Sorry. It's not going to hold up. It doesn't make any sense in this courtroom. Get it out. I'm tossing it out of my courtroom. That's what the judge is saying. So YNW Melly is, still being accused of being, off his hinges, off the books, off the rails, because he's blowing kisses allegedly at the one of the mothers of the deceased, one of the ones involved in the homicide, young juvie, and his grandmother has been marked down as saying "damn" when the judge, put down that order, for the video to be discarded from the case, and that's serious business. I mean, young nigger world Melly has every opportunity to be, a upright citizen and make albums and shoot videos and go all over the world if he chooses, if he makes the right decisions with his lawyers. They didn't make the right decision. They played the wrong card. Now it looks like it's open for anyone to come through and say that he was not one of the murderers. It's all still alleged. It's all still up in the air. Still not finite. It's still not definite. It is all still apparent. It just has it has all the features of being in, the courtroom and what that stands for. So with Wyatt Melly, oh, and by the way, the the chat is disabled, so I can't see who's chatting. So just make sure you step in and step up and give a thumbs up, give a like, because I can't see what you're saying. If you're writing something, I don't know if you can write anything, and for some reason I don't know why I can't have this stream with the snap, not snap, the live chat. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know what happened. But Snapchat is definitely not working. I keep saying Snapchat. The live chat is definitely not working. I'm thinking about the court case. I don't know how to do, how to get it popping. I'm gonna figure it out though. But all I need is for you to come in anyway and still work on. I'll still tell you my Cash App is $Skyler Saunders 1. That's SKYLER, no space, SAUNDERS 1. That's for the Cash App. My PayPal is paypal.me/Skyler Saunders, spelled the same way, no spaces. So, and you can become a part of Skyler Saunders 50 Club by contributing $50 a month to the broadcast. And I thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Now, let's get back to this case. This is a very important part because we just had a few other cases where people were talking about admitting videos into the case, into the courtroom. Should not happen. Should never happen. What you do in your art or what you do in your lifestyle, apart from actual recorded live, recordings of actual crimes, they should not be admitted. That's the difference. That's what makes it a different case. That's what makes everything a different way of looking at things. If you have the wherewithal of knowing what you did on a tape and can show it, and you did actually commit those crimes, that's when they should be admitted to the courtroom. That's the only time. But movies and comic books and any kind of media, any art, any kind of art forms, paintings, all of that has no bearing in a court of law. Shouldn't have a bearing in a court of law. None of that. So I mean, it just has everything to do with being within the realm of knowing what it is that the person is accused of and what they can do to protect themselves. Young nigger, world Melly has to protect himself in this case. Now, I don't want to say if he's guilty or not because I want to see more evidence. I already had evidence that I thought was, strong enough. The canine units, the forensic units, they seem like they had a strong case, but it seems weak when you have a prosecutor that fumbles. He fumbled on this occasion with the video of the Snapchat memory. He definitely fumbled in this case. He didn't have enough stuff backing him to be included in this very involved case. And young nigger world Melly, YNW Melly, is definitely going to be feeling some type of way when he blows kisses to the mother of the slain people that he is alleged to have killed. Now, what is that? I mean, I heard that from Mr. Troy Star Terrain. He was talking about, how he misjudged him, and he's just saying how he might laugh and might, get, a little chuckle out of everything that happens. He might just have a overstimulation of things that go on in his life. And that's why he's blowing kisses. And she was asking, why is he praying? Why is he showing the signs of being in prayer? If you're gonna be like that, she's in a state of shock almost. That's the part of the story that presents to her. That's it in a nutshell. So he's getting small victories. That's what they're saying. From my source, hotnewhiphop.com. Um, he was Leandra Phillips is the name of the mother of the man that is claim has claimed, well, the man that is supposed that YNW Melly killed. That is the space of time in which he is in. She just got up and got out of the courtroom, and she accused the alleged murderer that he blew kisses at her. And she's saying, like, every time I walk in, you smiling. This ain't the same for that. This is sad. This case is serious. It's like YM Melly is detached from reality. It seems in a lot of ways. YM Melly is still being a person of complete fame within the rap community. Boosie, he showed up in person during one of the proceedings, and he has his own crime run in. He has his own gun charges or charges against him, but they can't find the guns. I don't know. I have to see into that. Lil Durk, another rapper, drill rapper from Chicago. He's declaring free Melly. He put that on his Instagram page. But it just seems like a brighter day for YM Melly right now, because he apparently took it to that next level. His defensive, capabilities, his defense lawyer, his defense attorney definitely can now take full action and have a better frame of mind to execute on his behalf, since the prosecutor didn't do well today. Didn't do well is almost an understatement. I mean, he completely faltered. He blundered. He blundered with the Snapchat. That Snapchat will get you messed up, because you can't show that in a court, not in a court of law. So YM Melly he's going to take up this mantle and run with it. He's going to run with it fully, completely. He's not going to have a problem doing it. He's not going to have an issue. He's not going to have any problem at all being the one who takes this charge and completely represents himself, because he's all by himself. He's all on his own, like Patti LaBelle. He's out there. He's out there. This is a double murder case, and he's smiling and blowing kisses and showing that he's praying. He's all over the place. So when he has the prosecutor completely fumble the bag on this, he has every opportunity now to go all the way to complete the mission of his freedom, of his liberation. It was 4 years ago going on that this whole matter took place. He's been locked up for over 3 years. and it just seems like he was just on his way up. He had a single out. He took singles since his being in prison with yay mixed personalities. That's what it is. He's definitely put himself in a position to take himself all the way up. And if I say any more, I'll get flagged for copyright for Fat Joe and Remy Ma and Jay-Z, I guess you could say, the remix. But it just seems like with all of these rappers, everybody that got in trouble, everybody that's in jail, going out of jail, back in jail, prison, whatever you want to say. Jail is just shorthand for prison. I don't mean to say, the same thing that jail is the same thing as the penitentiary. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying as a shorthand. He's looking at life or death, young Melly. He's looking at life sentence or a death sentence. And Florida doesn't play, just like Texas. Florida is a state that does not play around with the death penalty. There's a joke by Ron White. He said almost 20 years ago, or more than 20 years ago, he said other states are, considering taking away the death penalty. My state, Texas, is thinking about putting in an express lane. They don't play around. And it's the same thing with Florida. Florida doesn't play around. They will get you in that chair or on that table, and you will have electrodes go through you. You have a chemical mixture go through your arm, and you will be out of here for good. They don't worry about you. And if they do find you guilty and you have life, it's not exactly a resort area in Florida all the time. You won't have conjugal visits. I mean, I'm always the one that says, American prisons are soft. You wake up in the morning, you train with a dog, you go, for walks, you do yoga, you can go on the internet, you have a full commissary, you got money on your books, everything is sweet. It's good. It's not like prisons in Brazil or El Salvador or Nicaragua or Venezuela or Serbia or North Korea or Iran, for that matter, Russia. Totally different situations. Now there are, of course, exceptions to the rule. In America and in the Netherlands, then those prisons are more like resorts. You get fresh towels and new blankets every day, and a good morning, how are you, and how's your time going, and everything is nice and sweet. But Florida's not always like that. Wherever you go, the state prison system hasn't been pretty in Florida for many years. In fact, let me see. I mean, even in the school system, this is the Colson Whitehead, the double Pulitzer Prize winner, had the book called The Nickel Boys. He was based on the historic Dozier School, a reform school in Florida that operated for 111 years and was revealed as highly abusive. That's a school. Think about what a prison is like. Think about the Florida State prison system. And where it's in still functioning, it's the Florida State Prison East Unit. It's in Bradford County. Rayford, no, it's Florida State Prison, otherwise known as Rayford Prison. It was formerly known as the Florida State Prison East Unit. That's what it was before. But no, that's where he'll go, most likely. But what is the toughest prison in Florida and the most dangerous? Santa Rosa Correctional Institution, Annex, opened in 2006 and houses another 1,478 inmates at the same security levels. And this is in Milton, Florida, United States. So whatever may happen, let's say he's found not guilty. He's still going to have the sting of, the criminal justice system on his head. He still has felonies. He has previous felonies to his name. He has to account for all of those. He has to be on guard for every one of them. He has to be aware of the fact that he can't go anywhere and not be reminded that he is a convicted felon. And this is just another case that could possibly derail everything that he built up for his career in the rap game. Everything that he wanted, everything that he desired. All those things. Everything that mattered. Everything that he tried to do. It just turns to dust. And it goes and just flutters in the wind. He had every opportunity to not be in the position where he is right now. And if he's smart, and if his defensive team is smart, they'll pounce on this opportunity with the quickness. Very quickly. They will pounce right on it without regard. They will have the opportunity of a lifetime with this case. Say, look, they tried to get me with the Snapchat memories. They tried to get me on, how it didn't match up where I was with, the text messages and where I was with the alleged gun and everything like that you still haven't found. All of that means something. All that adds to something. It creates a case that could be ironclad, could be made, tailor-made for his defense team to then take the position to be even better, to be the best they could possibly be. I'm looking for my snap, not my snap. I'm looking for my cash apps. Who are my cash apps for today? My goal is $10. It was on the chat. I don't know what happened to it. Just everything happened so fast, as the cliche goes, but it's so true. I don't even know. It was 1 second was there, then when I clicked the live stream, it went away. I don't know why. Gave me no reason, whatsoever. This is weird. But if you can, cash app me to try to get to that $10 goal. That's where I'm headed. I'm trying to get to $10 tonight. Didn't get to that. I was $8 short last night. One time I was $5 over the goal. So it's infrequent. It comes and goes, and sometimes it goes a little bit more. But getting back to young nigger world Melly. This young man, I will not denounce him. I'll say he's a convicted felon, because that's a fact. I'll say that he is teeter-tottering. He's the jury looks for everything. They look for all kinds of body movements and expressions and body language. All of that comes into account. All that comes into the reason why someone is either cleared from all charges or is going to get their life altered permanently or go to the death chair, go to the electric chair, go to the chemical table. That's where we are right now. That's where young Emmett YNW Melly is right now. That's the point where we have to take every action and every word and carry them with currency. We have to carry them with the same amount of currency that is so instilled in us from our very inception, from us being toddlers. Maybe he does have some kind of. I think there is a reason why. I think he has what I said. Yes, he has bipolar and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. All of these things contribute to that. All of these things contribute to the fact that he is not of sound mind. I have bipolar disorder. I see and hear things that other people don't see or hear. It's a fact. I'm not going to go out and wave a pistol around and go crazy and start shooting people. That's not my style. It's not what I'm into. May not be YNW Melly's style either. I don't know. We have to see. We have to see all the facts. That's the thing. Show me the facts. They say show me the Carfax. Just show me the facts themselves. Give me all the evidence. Give me everything that has to do with this case. I don't need him to have grace and mercy. I need him to have justice, to either be cleared or to go to life or death. That's where it has to boil down to. And if he's at all, related to any other crimes, that's superfluous. That's beyond what is the actual case. I mean, I don't even know if they take into account, and I'm sure the prosecutor, harps on it, but I don't know if the jury really takes into account that the fact that he was a previous, felon, somebody that came in and did whatever he, all the mischievous activities and vicious activities, I should say, not mischievous. He actually did vicious crimes, things that put people in terrible positions. And for what? Why did he do that? I'm saying, why you do that for? What did he do that for? Why would he do these double murders? He was trying to edge out his two friends so they get more of the pot of what they got together as a record company. That's the alleged idea or the motive. That was the modus operandi for YNW Melly's case. That he was trying to edge him out because he wanted more of the cake. He wanted more of the piece of the pie. But is this really the case? Is this really true? Is this really a part of what he really was and what he was about? What started his mind to say that, if I kill my two friends, I'm going to probably get away with it, and I'm still going to live my life as a full-fledged, rights-bearing adult. That's going to happen to me. I see somebody just came in, on a check-in and gave me a like. I appreciate you. I don't know who you are. If there's any way you send me an email, SkylerSaunders@gmail.com. SKYLERSAUNDERS@gmail.com. Let me know who you are. I'm trying to get $10 tonight. All right, you just went away. Thanks for the like. You came in, you liked, you went away. All right, so what? But anyway, to wrap it up on this level, I just wanted to say, YNW Melly, you have a chance now. I don't know what you did, what you didn't do. I need more evidence. But for right now, the prosecutor fumbled the bag, had an opportunity to nail you and missed you completely, wholly. struck his whole argument down, and it's all in your court now. Now, in other black news, I just had a question. I want to know why is there a separate standard for people of color and whites when it comes to health and life expectancy? With black people, it's 70.8% or years, excuse me, not percent, versus 76.4 years for whites. Why is that? You know what I found out to be? Oh, 2 words, 3 syllables. Toxic stress. This goes to the idea of the John Henry theory. This John Henry theory purports that black people are so stressed out from being black that their organs are not functioning as well. Their mind, their brain is not functioning as well as other people, other races, other cultures, such as white people. Now, this is very skeptical. This is a very interesting take on this, because it's just the facts. White people live longer than black people. It's a fact. I mean, of course, on an individual basis, you can have a black person live to be 112. That's like an outlier, though. That's like an anomaly. And I know anomaly and an outlier aren't the same thing, but in this case, they're very close. Why are so many black people stressed out? What is it what is stressing a black person out in today's culture, in today's world? What is it that is making them feel that they're not adequate enough, they're not able enough to be included in this particular case, in this particular life, and their expectancy on this world, in this world? Why does the John Henry theory, which basically is about the myth of John Henry, who worked on the rail system against a machine. He beat the machine, but just moments later, he died from overexertion. He just keeled over from working so much. And that's what has been attributed to especially black Americans, and their inability to keep up with the average life expectancy of a white person, their white counterpart. Now, it could be a question of poor health care, no access to insurance, not being able to pay for bills, not having a job, because that's when it starts. It's all tangled up. It starts with, do you have a degree? You don't have a degree, you don't have a job. You don't have a job, you're going to commit crime. You commit crime, you go to an institution. You're institutionalized. It's like a rolling rock that just continues to gather and keeps rolling and rolling and rolling and just forms, or a snowball effect. A large part of an avalanche. It becomes a part of a vicious stream of rock, snow, and water and ice and everything. Just a big cluster, what? And it's just ugly. It's so ugly how black people are, just ridiculed and denigrated and looked down upon and spat upon. And some should be, because some are complete scum. I'm a black man politically, but personally, I'm a man of color who happens to live in America. I know politically that when I come out, for somebody, walks up to me, a police officer walks up to me and says, "Hey, you have to put your hands around your back." I'll put my hands right behind my back, because I know that I'm a black man in that regard, in that respect. He wouldn't know that I'm a man of color who happens to live in America. He's not going to wonder. He's like, what's his phenotype? He's not, he's not really a black man. He doesn't really consider himself black, because that's just an accident at birth. He has no control over that. He just has a higher melanin count than I do if he's a white cop. But back to health, and it's becomes an idea of how black men, for one, get sicker and die younger. Now, black women, just like white women, outlive their male counterparts, and it's not by a whole bunch, but it's by enough. Activity that goes on with your limbs and your organs and everything that goes with that, and then you have to take into account the food. Are the food systems, are they up to the par for your body for it to grow, or are they causing cancers? Are they causing all kinds of debilitating diseases? Is this what is going on in the lifespan of a black person? Is this what's really what's happening? Was really the truth? It just it's part of what Dr. Sherman James informed the research undertaken by Center for Family Research scientists on how stress gets under the skin and into the brains of African American young people and adults. So it's about the fact that so many young adults and people of color have the stigma of actual stress killing them. It's not just black people always say, "Oh, stress, they're killing me. It's stressing me. They're getting on my nerves. They're wearing me down. They're wearing my nerves." People say that in passing. Black people say that in passing, but it's true. It's a fact. Stress really does kill you. It wears you down. It takes away your life, and it lessens your lifespan. And like I said, this is just an aggregate. This is just an average of people. It's just the average of the people that go on to say that they're more attuned to being, stress ridden, worried by stress, worried by worry, worried about worrying itself. To chop up a statement by Frederick Delano Roosevelt. But if you consider Franklin Delano Roosevelt, excuse me, FDR. If you have to consider, the fact that so many white people are, using opioids and the COVID, pandemic, even though it's waning now, it's almost completely gone. You have to consider all the facts. Every fact it has to be considered, just like the YNW Melly court case. Every fact has to be considered. Everything, the whole order of everything has to be considered. Black people just die earlier and younger. They die from hypertension. They die from diabetes. They die from cancer. They die from all these things. Some people have all those, diseases all mixed into one. And it becomes something that's, very sad, because you're supposed to enjoy your life. Those are the three things: standard of living, life expectancy, and just living life. You're supposed to have all those things, all of them together, into a nice package. Because of course you're going to die. We're all going to die one day. It's a fact. But we should be able to be, content and happy in our old age, our advanced years, I should say. Once we reach, our 70s, 80s, and 90s, we should be enjoying those times. We won't have as much time left, but we should still be enjoying those times just to be, depending on our standard of living in our life, in our lifetime, our longevity. We should all be able to make that decision and say to ourselves that it's possible for us to be a part of something that's even bigger than ourselves. No, I'm kidding. I hate that statement. I hate when people make it. It doesn't make any sense. There's no such thing as anything bigger than yourself. And and what people wanted to mean saying that way. Like when they say, "Oh, I want to join the military because I want to join something bigger than myself." Okay, wait a minute, stop. You're joining something that's older than you, most likely, except for the Space Force. Something that has more personnel than you have in your life, thousands. All cumulatively is about 1 million or 2 million. That's bigger than yourself. That's true. But without those single individuals, there would be none. So it's all about the individual, regardless. It's all about individualism. But that's the case that is so important, and that's what happened with life expectancy. It lowered during COVID. It lowered because of the opioid, issue. I don't even call it an epidemic necessarily. I call it an issue. So many different things contribute to the fact that black people don't exist as long as their white counterparts, or even their brown or red or yellow counterparts. Are those food items? Is that big fried piece of chicken and the collard greens and the macaroni and cheese and the coleslaw and the candy yams, or is all that really gonna, make a big dent into your own life? Is all that gonna be a problem? Is all that gonna be an issue? I ask you. Because it's gonna definitely be an issue for me. Because I eat all of that. As you can tell, I'm not a skinny boy anymore. I used to be very skinny. I used to be real thin. I was thin as as a stick. I was very thin. I ballooned up. I gained some pounds, but I knocked off some weight too. I knocked off about 15 pounds in the past year and a half. So I'm not as big as I was, but I'm still kind of stocky. I'm still kind of hefty. And I see one person in here that's talking. I can't talk to you through the chat. I don't know why. It just disappeared. Can't explain it. But whoever you are, you can contribute $50 a month to the Skyler 50 Club. If you are prepared, you can also contribute $2 to $5 tonight, because I'm trying to get to a goal of $10 to just on broadcast. If you like the show, thumbs up, like the show, and don't worry about giving all that much. You don't have to give $10. You don't have to give $20. Give whatever you feel. I'll take a lot of ones over a lot of nuns, just like the great Simple the Pimp once said. Rock and power to that gentleman. And now you just left. I must have scared you off with the dollar figures. I don't know. Thanks for coming in. You counted out as a view nonetheless. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But, for all the, problems that we have in the world, we have to focus on things like this. We have to pump the brakes and really consider I just have, all these ideas, even Choice Star Terrain, or the star. What does that mean? Strange thoughts and revelations. I just have strange thoughts sometimes. I just have, ideas that people, and I just go on the internet. That's one thing. The internet is the ocean or the universe, or something very vast, and we haven't explored all of it. We only explored a small percentage of the oceans, and even smaller percent of the universe. There's so much more out there that we can't even comprehend. But what we do know is that blacks die younger, and get sicker more so than their white counterparts. That's a fact. That is true. That is something I'm not making up. Black people have COPD, AFib, all kinds of different issues. All kinds of different issues that pop up. Different issues that say that there are so many people that disregard the fact that these black people. I don't consider myself black once again, so I'll say these black people, these black folk over here. You know, seriously though, but they're dying. At a faster, at a younger clip, and the fact that they get sicker more often than other people. That's a fact that we have to contend with. And like I said, it starts with, I say education, it should be private education, and you can have education based on your own understanding. Like August Wilson, the great August Wilson, he died at 60 from liver cancer. Look at that. But he said, he just used the library system and growing up in bars and going to different venues, and he taught himself, and he became a success story, a double Pulitzer Prize winner, another double Pulitzer Prize black winning man. And again, the one person who is watching this show right now, contribute $2 to $5 right now if you can to my Cash App, which is $$ Skyler Saunders 1. If you can just do that, that would be appreciated. Because I don't know what happened to the chat room. It just disappeared. Just poof. I don't know what happened. So I want to just, completely acknowledge the fact that, I may be looking at, a younger lifespan as well because of my melanin. I'm a black man, politically and personally in some regards. Some parts I just can't get rid of. I can't, even if I bleach my skin, the melanin would still be there underneath in my dermis, in my skin itself. I can't change that. I can't alter that in any way. I can't have that differentiated. It can't be made different. It has to be on the scale of being black. I can't deny it. That's cute when I say I'm a man of color who happens to live in America. That's cute. But when the police sees me in the street and says, "Put your hands up," I'm putting my hands up. There's no question. Well, you see, officer, I'm a man of color who happens to live in America, and by then I already got 2 shots in the dome. That's how serious it is. And it starts with education again. I don't have a degree. I only have a diploma. I only have a high school diploma. That's all I have. But I'm learned. I've learned on my own. I'm autodidactic. That just is a big word meaning you learn by yourself. You're self-taught. I've taught myself through video, book, radio, media, meeting with people, talking with people, getting as much information as I can from other human beings, travel this country. Haven't traveled the world, but I've traveled this country. And I've been able to ascertain what I am supposed to learn to keep me going. But in essence, it is still about education. It still is about learning. Because if you don't have that education, you don't get that work. You don't get the job. You don't get the job, you resort to crime. You resort to crime, you resort to institution. You go to institution. You go to institution, you're institutionalized. You get out, you stay in. Either way, you're not going to win. Now, I'm not trying to rhyme here. I'm just trying to tell you a story. You go out, you try to go for another place to work. You don't have the education that you try to start out with. You didn't get it in jail. You didn't get your GED or your associate's degree, your bachelor's or your master's or your doctorate or your professional degree. You didn't get any of that. So now you're working at the Super 8 as a attendant, or you're working at Taco Bell because you didn't have the wherewithal to go. You're working at a school and you're a janitor, and you're dealing with chemicals, and you have to breathe that in every day. Every single day, you breathe in the same chemicals to clean the places. That's how serious this is. And then you have recidivism, which is just another name for going back into jail. People do the same crime over and over again, not recognize what they are or who they are. Thank you for stopping by. I count you as as somebody that came through and dropped in their 2 cents if they could. I don't know what happened to the chat. I still don't know what happened. That happened too fast. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm worried about why Black people die younger and get sick faster than their white counterparts. That's what I want to wonder about. That's what I'm really wondering about. Why that is. Why is that even a case? That's true. A fact. A reality. Ayn Rand was very, she was very receptive of the series. I think it was Dragnet. And the lead character says, just the facts, man. And that's what Ayn Rand always, represented. Just the facts. Just the facts. And her nonfiction, just the facts. Of course, not in her fiction, but especially in her nonfiction, just the facts, man. That's what it comes down to. Just the fact that Black people are so maligned and deterred from doing things. And just malicious activity has been inflicted upon Black minds. Because Ta-Nehisi Coates, he's he always says black bodies. That's one of the things I remember from his book. Let me see. Let me make sure I get his name right. Yeah, Ta-Nehisi Coates. Yeah. He always says black bodies, black bodies, black bodies, black minds. Black minds are what should be considered. That's what is so important. That's what makes the most sense. That's what is the key to all of this is the mind. The mind thinking about something rather than just doing, just feeling, and just going by whim. That's not necessary. That's not true. That's not factual. That's not rational to just go by whim and what you think is right or what you feel is right, not what you think is right. So you have so many Black people out there not considering that they're looking at a casket or an urn earlier than they might have been expected to. All because they did not think. All because they did not reason. All because they did not use the truth of whatever mattered. That's what set them back. That's what kept them back. That's what keeps them back. That's what holds them back. They don't have the understanding all the time. Or even if they do have the understanding, they may disregard it and may look at some mystical land as a promised land for their lives, saying this whole body is nothing. I'm a wretch. I'm pitiful. I'm poor, blind, and naked. And my heavenly body is worth more than my earthly body. That's what we have to fight. That whole stigma of mysticism, of faith, that Jesus is going to take care of me no matter what, even though I'm smoking cigarettes, even though I'm eating pig feet, and without regard, even though I'm smoking fentanyl or taking fentanyl or whatever you do with fentanyl. I don't even know what you do with fentanyl. I think you just take it by mouth orally. But the point still stands. That's a major issue. The black church, come on. When you have at least over half of the black American population going to church, and like I'll say 95% that actually believing a God or gods, that should be rectified. That should be challenged. That should be changed. That's something that should be without a doubt, something that is put into retrospect. What needs to be said, what needs to be done. And that is a key factor in all of this. Because black people, they believe that Jesus is going to heal them. They can say words over a body, that's, afflicted with a sickness, and that they'll be healed through the words that they're just saying out loud or praying to themselves. That's how disgusting this gets. That's how disturbing this gets. When you have otherwise rational human beings, adults, and not just black people. I'm not just racking on black people. It's white people too. That's where they learned it. For the most part. They pray over the bodies. They pray over the people that have these illnesses. And they say, you can. That's the thing with mysticism. Mysticism is interesting because you win either way on, being a loser. You win by losing. You win, the body, the person lives. Oh, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. They lived. Everything is all good now. You know what? They died. Oh, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. They went on home to be with their Lord. You can't lose. You're already losing. You already lost by believing in this. But the fact remains that they really take it seriously. They really take it seriously. They take it for the moment of understanding that they're contending with something that isn't present physically, materially, and even spiritually. The spirit that they are contending with is something that doesn't exist because it doesn't evolve. It doesn't present itself from something that's material. For example, the soul or spirit is or are things that are from the mind, which is material, the brain, which is material. The mind, spirit, soul are all immaterial. And that whole understanding has to be challenged. If black people are to gain their life expectancy and their standard of living, and it's just living life, then that has to be challenged. I thank you for bouncing with me, for rolling with me. Send in $5 to $10. One person is here. Send in that $2 to $3 to $5 or $10 bill. I appreciate it. Now you walked away. That's okay. I'm wrapping up now anyway. So check me out for this week. This week is gonna be interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna have a show tomorrow necessarily. This might just be my last show for the next 6 days. I'm gonna check and see about my vacation. But I appreciate everyone who viewed, who stopped in, didn't stay, but stopped in and said hi. I appreciate that. So thank you very much. And I will see you at a later date in the future. That's all I can say. Take care.